Welcome to the Two Guys in a Cooler channel. My name's Eric, and today we're going to be making Cajun smoked andouille salami. Now, I'm from South Louisiana, and in South Louisiana, we eat andouille sausage all the time, and I thought it would be a really cool idea to turn that sausage into salami. So using the same elements with a sausage that has roots in France, in Africa, a lot of Creole influence. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a really exotic spice blend, allspice, clove, we have mace, we have cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, thyme, garlic, things like that. That's what mace looks like if you've ever seen it. That's the shell around the nutmeg, and it's a really powerful spice, so you have to use it sparingly. But we're going to take all of those ingredients and we're going to put it into a salami using traditional salami processes. So if you've seen any of our other videos on how to make salami, you'll know that we follow a standard process. Step number one, prepare the mold and set it to the side. So this is the mold that we're going to be using for our salami. It's going to be mold 600, and that's just going to coat the outside with something called Penicillium nalgiavensis. Next, we're going to prepare our meat, which has already been cleaned and cubed, and it's chilled. So I like to separate my meat and my fat, and then if my recipe calls for 80-20, I can proportion it pretty easily. I'm going to grind it on a 6mm plate, but traditional andouille sausage is coarse ground and even in some cases hand chopped. So depending on how traditional you want to be, you may coarse grind or hand chop some of it, and then you may grind some a little more fine. It's really up to you. I didn't want to take any chances being that this was an experiment, and I'm going to go ahead and put everything through, like I said earlier, that 6mm plate. My meat is really cold. I don't want to melt the fat. I don't want to warm up the meat. And as soon as I'm done grinding all this, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in the freezer. And now we're going to prepare our starter culture. I'm going to prepare the starter culture right before I mix it. So right now I've got my mold to the side. I've got my seasonings to the side. My meat is already ground. And now we're going to go ahead and get our starter culture. And the weight that I'm using is 0.022% with this particular culture in 2 tablespoons per 5 pounds of meat. 2 tablespoons of, I'm using distilled water, per 5 pounds of meat. And so I'm going to let that hydrate for about half an hour. And while that's going on, I'm going to soak my casings. I'm using 60mm casings, and these don't have to soak but about 10 minutes. It's lukewarm water. And I'm going to go ahead and just let that soak and set that to the side. Today's project, we're going to be doing a lot of salamis, a lot of different flavors. And so that's why we have so many casings here. But I think I'm only doing 10 pounds of this particular andouille. So now I've got it in my mixer. I've got my seasonings in there, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my starter culture, and I'm going to add my starter culture in slowly. I just want to make sure that it gets mixed in really well with the meat, and notice how the meat's texture is about to radically change. It goes from what looks like ground meat to what looks like a mince meat, and it gets really, really sticky and really, really tacky. I keep referring to something called legs, and when you pull it apart, it's going to look like it has these filaments on it because of the way that the proteins are reacting with the salt and the little bit of water that we added. And notice how it sticks to my hands. So this is a clear indication that I've got good binding properties. And in that particular mixer, I think it took about 6 minutes on a medium to high speed. So right now, I'm just going to stuff my sausage stuffer, and I'm going to pack my casings. Now, I want to get it as tight as possible with no air pockets. Air pockets generally breed unwanted bacteria. And if you do happen to get an air pocket, you can always prick it with the sausage pricker, and if you have your salami stuffed tight enough, the vacuum that it'll create will get rid of all that air. Regardless of whether you have air pockets, continue to prick, make sure it's completely done, and now you want to coat it with your mold 600. Be sure to tag and weigh and record the starting weight for each one of your salamis. Andouille is going to be smoked, so we're going to go ahead and take that and pop it in our smoker for about 4 hours. I don't want it to get hot. I am cold smoking, although there is going to be a fermentation period that we're going to go through right now. So once it's cold smoked for about 4 hours, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in my fermentation chamber. Now my chamber is going to be at 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 86% humidity. And all I did was I took a refrigerator and I added those two controls. The link's going to be below as to where you can get it. And now I'm able to control the humidity and the temperature. But truth be told, with all the salami in there, it's going to be super, super humid. So already the humidity is going to be really high. All I really want to look to do is control the temperature of the chamber. Now, if you want to see how to make a drying chamber, click on that link in the top right-hand corner, and I go through the steps that it takes to make a drying chamber. But it's really easy. Now that my salami's in there, and you can tell the really dark one is the smoked andouille. Notice how notice how you can see that smokiness. It's already come out in the color. And we're going to go ahead and let that ferment for anywhere between 30 to 36 hours with this particular starter culture. Each starter culture is different. And if you have any questions about starter cultures, let me know. But here is the andouille. And we're going to go ahead and test the pH. This is roughly at about 30 hours. And what we're looking at in the pH right now is below 5.3. And so I'm at 5.37. So I'm still a little high, but I'm close. And so I'm going to let it ferment for another 4 hours and then test it again. And once I hit my target pH, and for me, it's somewhere between 5.1 and 5.3 using this particular starter culture, I transfer it to my drying chamber, which I keep at 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 80% humidity. And I'm going to keep it in there until I achieve a 40% weight loss. And that, with this particular diameter, is going to take somewhere between 7 to 9 weeks. What you're about to see is 2 months later, the finished product, and we're testing it for the very first time. So check it out.
Your DNA right now should be screaming.
I can't wait.
As a Cajun, this is a sausage that really hits close to home. You should watch our How to Make Andouille Sausage video because it's really amazing. And this one, equally amazing, I hope. Oh, it should be pretty good, I think.
It's andouille. How can it not be fantastic?
We're about to find out. So this is smoked. This has got all kinds of ingredients in it.
So you got smoked, dried, and cured. Oh my goodness. And an andouille sausage.
So as soon as I cut this open, you can smell it. It looks like it has a really nice texture. The fat to meat ratio looks pretty much well distributed.
Hit that like button so that you can show your support for all of those Cajuns that blaze the trail of making andouille sausage with the grinding and the coarse chopping of the meat.
And the stuffing! Hey, that's our ancestor, and we love them for it.
Man, I've waited too long.
Look, I'm totally playing with my food.
I gotta try this.
The texture is so neat. It's nice. It's not too firm. Hang on.
Okay.
That's smoky. That's nice.
That you definitely getting that smoke. I expected the andouille flavors to come out a lot more. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. They're kind of catching me in the aftertaste.
I'm getting a little garlic, a little bit of thyme.
Are you getting that mace?
Subtle.
That subtle mace right there.
Subtle.
Mace is such a powerful spice.
This is a crazy salami because I'm so used to.
I think he's had.
This is so good. I can't stop myself.
I wish you could see his face right now.
I'm going to eat another slice here, and I'm going to share it with you because this is meant to be shared.
And you know what? Sharing is caring.
Caring. Yes, it is.
I'm going to try another one of these. I've waited too long. I waited a solid 3 seconds. I need another piece.
This is so good.
It's nice. It's subtle.
It's different. You know,
this would pair wonderfully with some smoked Gouda. You got the contrast of the creaminess and the smokiness of the Gouda with the nice firm and spicy textures of the andouille sausage.
It's spicy. It's not too spicy.
No, it's not too spicy. It's mildly
guys,
spicy.
if y'all make this recipe exactly as we've written it, you are going to be blown away. I can see this cut up into cubes and tossed into like a gumbo or a red beans and rice kind of dish or something like that. Or you know what? Even with cheese, like you were talking about earlier. Oh my gosh.
So
this
hard.
is so good. I want to shake it.
You want to shake it.
I'm telling you, of all the ones that we've made so far, this is probably going to be my favorite. Although I'm not surprised.
I mean, come on. It's andouille sausage. And come on. You're Cajun. You're like deep backwoods Cajun. You grew up on this.
Bayou stuff, you know. All right, so what I think we should do is equalize it. You want to tell them about equalization?
Yeah, so basically all that means is when you finish drying the salami, some parts are going to be more dry than the other, like the tip. So what you want to do is pop this in a freezer saver bag, put it under high vacuum container, and then pop it in the fridge for maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And what that's going to do is going to take all the dry and wet aspects of the salami and distribulize it.
Nice! Distribulize. I love that word. Is that even a word?
I think I just made that up. I think.
Well, if you want the moisture in your salami to be properly distributed
works too.
Man, it sounds like it should be a word.
I think, hey.
This is what it's going to look like. Freezer saver bag, distribualization underway. We're going to pop it in the cold room.
The cold room, that's right.
And 2 weeks. At this point, it's shelf stable. So you can keep it in there until you're ready to use it. All right, guys, I hope you make this. Don't forget to subscribe.
And click that notification bell. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And be sure to check out some of our other videos. We post videos on all sorts of topics. We're uploading every single week. If you have any questions about this particular project, write it in the comment section below. And if you have any suggestions on future videos, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.